Hello, today I'll be discussing how you can write a cover letter or statement of purpose and go in depth into the reason and the structure of a cover letter or statement of purpose, which is also called letter of motivation. So, what is the reason or what is the purpose of a cover letter when submitting a job application and then a statement of purpose or letter of motivation when submitting an application for admission in, say, a university? What is the reason for that? After you have filled application form, you fill the application forms, and then you provided all the necessary or most of the necessary informations and submitted your CV, which contains most of the information that the decision makers need. Why do they have to go further to ask you for a cover letter when applying for a job or a letter of motivation, also called sometimes statement of purpose when applying for admission? Why do they have to do that? The reason is that even though your CV contains most of the information that they need, and certain informations are also asked during the filling of the application forms, the cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation gives you an opportunity to express yourself without any cap or limitation, right? Although cover letters and statement of purpose or letter of motivation are usually between 1 to 2 pages long, they are meant to allow you to express yourself in a form of an essay or a letter in such a way that might not be available on the application form or a more structured CV or resume. So there are certain information that may not be appropriate in a CV and probably were not asked when you were filling the application form. But you may want the people, whether it's a panel or the reviewers, to consider when reviewing an application. The cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation is the opportunity for you to provide such information. So don't spend most of your sentences or the space provided for this cover letter, which is usually 1 to 2 pages, typically. Don't spend most of your time repeating what you have already provided in the application form and the cover letter. You may need to highlight certain things, maybe to make reference to them just to buttress certain points, but don't repeat information that are quite obvious in your application form and CV. But try to concentrate on information that are not provided in the application form and the CV, but you want the panel or whoever is deciding and reviewing the application consider when reviewing your application. And what are the kind of information you can include? You can include information about your strengths, about your achievements, about the things you did in the past, and also, very importantly, about your weaknesses and gaps in your application. So, if there is an application and in your CV or application form, there are certain gaps that were in existence, the cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation is an opportunity for you to explain why there are gaps in those applications or in your CV. For instance, if a certain period in your CV is showing that you were not working, you need to explain what you were doing in that period. It may be possible that you were sick. You don't write that I'm sick in my CV. You can explain that between this period to that period, I was sick, so I was not in employment, or I was involved in some personal issues. So it gives you opportunity to explain so that they understand, so that they won't be in limbo, so that they won't just assume that this person didn't have a job between this period. Explain why you didn't have a job. Another information also that you can include in a cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation is weaknesses and deficiencies. If the application states that you must have a minimum of 3.5 CGPA to apply for admission, and you had 3.2 or below the requirement, in your statement of purpose or letter of motivation when applying for admission, you can explain why your CGPA is below what they require. For instance, it's possible that you were in school and a particular semester or a particular year you fell sick and couldn't perform maximally. And because of that, you had a drop in your CGPA. You don't provide such information in your CV, but you can include that information in your statement of purpose or letter of motivation so that the reviewers will understand that, oh, this person, looking at your transcript, this particular semester or this particular year, your CGPA was low. And you explain in your cover letter, this was the reason why it was low. And they won't treat you in a way probably they initially intended. They will understand that there are things that happen outside of our control. But they are human beings like you, so they understand that life can happen. But if you don't tell them, they will make decisions based on what is in front of them. So there are informations you don't supposed to exclude, including your weaknesses. If it is your weaknesses, tell them what the weakness is and what you did to overcome such weaknesses. What are the things you did? And after you did those things, what was the outcome of those things you did to overcome those weaknesses? You express yourself. So how should you structure your cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation? The first thing you start is, if it's a letter, you address it to the shortlisting panel or to whoever is doing the screening. If it's a statement of purpose or a letter of motivation, you can just start with a heading with your name, and then the first paragraph is usually the introduction, and then you have the body, which can be a number of paragraphs, and then you have the last paragraph. So you can have 5 paragraphs, for instance. The first paragraph is your introduction. The next 3 paragraphs are your body of the letter or statement of purpose, and then the last paragraph is your concluding paragraph. That's how you structure it. And in the introduction, you are giving the background to your application and to your history. And is that opportunity you have attract the attention of whoever is reading that document, statement of purpose, cover letter, or letter of motivation. You have opportunity to attract their attention. So you can use words that grab their attention. Use maybe stories or things that can grab their attention, because if you don't grab their attention in the first few seconds of reading that document, you may not really attract their interest in what you're saying. So that introductory paragraph, that first paragraph, is an opportunity for you to grab their attention using words, about, don't over exaggerate. Don't say things that didn't happen, but you can tell them things about how you overcame challenges and then you achieve certain things, right? Attract their attention, or just a line, an opening line that grab their attention. And then in the next 2 to 3 paragraphs, you are going in depth into your background, your history, in terms of education, in terms of experience, like work experience. If you're applying for an academic role, you have to talk about your teaching and research experience and the things you did and what was the outcome of what you did. If you work in the laboratory on a certain research area, tell them what the research area is, what the laboratory is, what kind of research and skills you acquired during that process, and how did you apply it, and what was the outcome of that research. The outcome can be probably you created a novel product or a system, or you published some papers or different things. Tell them what the outcome of those experiences are. Tell them about your achievement after you did what you did. Your awards, tell them. Right? And then that is what you use the third to fourth paragraph to do. That is about 3 paragraphs if you are going with the 5 paragraph structure. And the last paragraph, you are concluding and trying to tie everything together in the concluding paragraph, telling them why they should consider you as the best candidate for that role. But you are tying it together to let them know why they should consider you as the best candidate for that role. And you can conclude by telling them you are open to have an interview or further discussion with them on the role and any other things that they may want you to discuss with them. and they can reach out to you for further clarification or anything. So that's how you conclude. So you start with the introduction. The next 2 to 3 paragraphs is the body, and I've described what should be included in the body. And the last paragraph is the conclusion. This is how you structure these things, right? Cover letter, statement of purpose, or letter of motivation. That's how they are being structured. And I hope what I've said helps someone in their application the next time. If you have any topic you want me to speak about, write in the comment section. And if you have any questions, also write in the comment section, and I will be able to respond to them. Thank you. See you next time.